I encountered Bishop David Oyedepo at an event organized by a group of ministers from the island. The Bishop Oyedepo was going to be this guest speaker. So they brought in a lot of artists. In fact, they flew even someone from the US. And they had brought me in to be the last voice that would usher in the guest speaker. The bishop just went up there and talked about that 5 minutes ministration. And he said, this one is not come, let us sing. So people have been singing. I was even going to raise my hand to say, please let me minister and go back. I didn't know that the Lord was waiting to bless me from this few minutes ministration. He kept talking and talked about the gifting, that what he saw there was a gifting, it was not singing. And suddenly, like someone beaten by a bug, he pointed to where I had gone to sit. A kingdom star is about to show forth, and you will go places. Watch him. That man, he will go places, you hear about him, And I stood up where I was seated, and he continued to speak. He didn't stop there. I thought he had finished. After he had left,
yes,
the protocol came to where I was and said, His Lordship will want to see me, in his office, and they exchanged contacts so that they can place an appointment for us, and which we did. And we worked that out, and I was able to meet him in his office. I didn't go alone. I had to go with a friend of mine, Reverend Aki Akeju, and Dr. Peter Okai. I said, look, His Lordship says he wants to see me, so can you guys accompany me? And they accompanied me. He prayed for me and even blessed me with some cash, and I left. That was a confirmation, of many other of such, encounters of the past from other men of God. It was at a time with Bishop Duncan Williams, when he visited in a place where I was invited, where in my church then, where I was leading praise worship, and he closed his eyes while I was doing the special administration. That when he opened it, he just said, "Where is that man that just finished singing now?" He said, "What do you do?" People even echoed. It's an Air Force officer. You are in the Air Force. That's not where you belong. That is not where you're supposed to be doing. This microphone is where you belong.
Wow.
God this is what will move you around the world. He said, go and think about it. He talked on. I just said, wow. I left. The same way I confronted Bishop Michael Okonkwo. Dr. Moses Ilo had invited me to a program at the park, Yaba Park, I think something. They were doing it with a huge program. And Bishop Michael Okonkwo was to be the speaker. And I had done my administration as usual. And Bishop Mike just asked the people to get his contact. In fact, he invited me to his car when he was about leaving and said, look, give me your contact. Have you heard of Kingdom Life Music program? We would like you to be there. I said, Your Lordship, okay. So he left. Took some of my CDs, and I'm just like, Your Lordship, you can take. You said we was paid for this gift. He paid and then drove off. The next thing, the music director of the church was calling and talking about my invitation for a program that was already about 3 days due. Everywhere it's been like that. Same thing, Abundant Life in Port Harcourt. Apostle Ogu encountered me somewhere, invited me over to Port Harcourt, bought my air ticket, I traveled to Port Harcourt. He said, look, you people have your artist. This one, I'm bringing him from Lagos. This is my own. I want to hear him. And he mounted the stage to personally welcome me, on stage. I was like, these endorsements, all these prophecies, You know, can God look for better people? It's not for. So first, you know, his lordship was talking about the kingdom star. I thought stars are supposed to be young people of 15 and 16 and 20. Me, at that time, I was about 40-something years. I was not a young man. So, and besides, I'm someone who has traversed and crisscrossed, done many things that shouldn't make me worthy of being a kingdom star. Because I was exposed too early into life. I joined the Air Force as a very young boy, you know, about 17. And from then, after my trainings, I was in most of the cities of the world, met different people, done a lot of things. And how can God be interested in such a person? But then the Spirit of the Lord began to take me back to even where I started as a young altar boy from age 8. So I was living with Reverend Fathers, white Reverend Fathers. They just saw me from the altar, picked me up, loved me. Father Jane, Father Kilby, you know, the Holy Cross Cathedral, Lagos. So the Lord now began to get the picture that He's been interested in me. And it's like, no matter what I turn out to be,
yes,
there was nothing, you know, but that like the radar, in the minute you say radar, he just following you everywhere, you know. And I just look at that. So I was telling the Lord, why don't you look for better people? Okay, I have missed it. See the issues of the many women, see the issues of how I've moved. Some people who have worked with you, do they have that kind of history? The people that want to be kingdom stars. Leave me, look for better people. I can be helping. If I have little resources, I help. You know, so that was my situation. But yet every night, I will not sleep. It will just be, take your pen and write. And I kept writing songs. And I've been told what to write. If you listen to Deo Gracias, it was write a song for my people who have served me in this world that have moved. Wow. Heaven is glad. It's for people who are serving the Lord alive. In Galilee Boy, you just tell the world about me in 5 minutes. Abiamo, yes, is a response to this experience I told you. Because it took me time to really agree that indeed I am called. Because after all these men have said these things, I still refused until I became, I started facing a lot of challenges, which even worsened my resolve not to go. And to me, as a soldier, I had a very strong mind. I said, if heaven wants to fall, let it fall. And indeed, I felt that it was even the statements that were bringing this kind of onslaught on me. That this everybody wants saying God wants to use you. It makes the devil now to start fighting me. And I was like, okay, if he wanted me, so why is he allowing all these things to be happening to me? But the Spirit of the Lord equally continued to pamper me and began to nudge me. Every phase of my life has a story and has a song. And so Abiam in Igbo means, okay, I have come. Now that I have answered, the only thing I depend on Him is to lead me to the right people to walk with. Because this is a journey you can't go alone. The songs are there staring at me in their hundreds. They need to be published. You need to have the people with the right spirit, because I want to remain in that, because there's nothing to show, there's nothing to prove to anybody. I have nothing to prove. I have no showmanship. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just here because you called me, and all I just do, those songs you have given, I just go out there and sing them. Let Him that has called me be able to show me, because I told Him in that song, you have called, I have answered. Take me by your hand so that my feeble feet may stand. So I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't want to go ahead of him. I will just follow.
You have court